Okay, an elemental is a person that has no soul, no soul. Why do they come in? A lot of them come in when there's a brutal rape attack, and no one takes. They're not prepared. See, when you're in that other dimension, you choose your parents. You actually choose your name. You choose the date that you're to come in. And until you do past life research, you can't fathom that this is possible, but it is. So you do all these things. And all of a sudden, there's a brutal attack, a rape attack, and nobody has claiming that body, and so there's not a soul essence there. So what you are, you're an elemental. When I was working with Jose, I would monitor all these people that would come in. Well, one evening, one girl comes in, and she doesn't feel right. She doesn't look right. There's nothing around her. She talks, she's married, she has 2 children, met her husband and her children, but there's something about her I don't know, and I can't fathom what's wrong with her. I asked Jose, and he said, "You'll get an answer." And many times he would say, "Find your answer." And so it probably was a learning experience for me, because I did not know why she was not like the rest of them. So all of a sudden, I have a very wealthy friend in Dallas that would contact me periodically, and he said, "Mrs. Hadsell, do me a favor. There's a woman in Alamogordo that is a mystic, and why don't you call her?" I don't want to call her, but you call her and bring her to Dallas and have her as one of the key speakers. We would have a Sunday night talking on different aspects, and he was in charge. He was the one that owned the building and was very generous, and would get guest speakers in for anyone that was interested in metaphysics and psychic phenomena. Okay, so I call her, and she comes down, and when she comes down, she's my house guest. And that night, she's my house guest, and she's saying, "Why don't you have about 12 or 15 of your friends come over, and we'll do a meditation." And at that time, I was having cottage groups. And so I call my friends that I wanted over there, and for some reason, she's at one of these friends' houses, and she hears that I'm going to have this, and she comes uninvited. And when she walks in the door, her name was, Eva Laredo, or what is her name, and she calls me aside, and she said, "Why do you have this elemental here?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she says, "She's an elemental." And I said, "What's an elemental?" See, this is the first time I'd ever known this. Well, she doesn't have a soul. She does not have a connection. And I said, "But can a soul come down and connect with her?" She said, "No, she's just, there's nothing." And this led me to believe, when you hear people that say, "This is the only life I have, live it to the hilt," I question, are they elementals? They do not have what I call a connection with with group souls or whatever. They're just come down in a physical body, and usually monitor and are taught things, but they have nothing of the spiritual. So why was she with my group, I asked. And the question was that her husband was in this area, and one of the children was very, very serious, and the other one was being monitored. But she had no connection to a soul, a group soul thing. I learned something then. There was a lot. I'd go out in the field, I didn't know anything. I felt I knew nothing. So I'd keep an open mind and listen to people when they came up and would would do something. One time I was in, this is in,
We just have to stop between stories.